Episode 1 of my 1994 engine rebuild. Here's a quick visual inspection and then we'll start taking parts off. When choosing a block, it was important for me to know the date so I could make sure it was a 91 or newer high output 4.0. You'll find the date on the driver's side of the block near the back of the engine. This one is 7/29/1994. I'm starting with a visual inspection of the block to see what parts came on it already, which nuts and bolts are there, and an overall view of how things look. This engine actually looks pretty clean. A lot of these bolts look like they're in there hand tightened, so somebody's been in here, but we'll go ahead and take it apart and see what's underneath. Today I'm going to be taking off the thermostat housing, the water pump pulley, the water pump, the oil dipstick tube, and we're going to finish up by removing the valve cover. Let's start by removing the two 1/2-inch bolts on the thermostat housing. The top one for me was already pretty loose and the bottom one took a little effort. When putting it back together, remember that the short bolt is on the bottom and the long one goes in the top. I put the bolts back in the housing where they go and I'll store it for later. Next up is the water pump pulley. This one can be a little tricky because it wants to spin while I'm loosening the bolts, so I took a 13mm or 1/2-inch wrench and wedged it on one of the bolts and into the crankshaft pulley. It gave me a little resistance to get the bolts loose. And off comes the pulley. Next up, we're going to use a 1/2-inch wrench again and take off the 4 bolts that are holding on the water pump. I'm trying to loosen them in a little bit of a cross pattern just to keep the pressure the same as it's released. I have the long bolt on the right and the other 3 are all shorter. I'll store these back in the water pump so when it's time to put it back on or if I end up replacing it, I'll know where the bolts go. After removing the 4 bolts, the water pump's still stuck on there a little bit, so it takes a little effort to get it popped off there. Careful not to drop it. Next up, I'm going to remove the oil dipstick tube. I have a nut on here that's just hand tight. I'll twist that off, and then the stud that goes into the block is actually a female Torx bit. It's an E7. A little twist, jiggle, upward pressure, and the oil dipstick tube will come right out. Finally, for today, we're going to remove the valve cover. This is a good time to decide what kind of habits you're going to have with storing your bolts. I'm going to keep mine organized in case I want to put them back in the engine anywhere. Some will be replaced, but some will be saved. So I'm going to start now by making this little cardboard template and taking each bolt and putting it exactly where it came out of the engine. Here's how it looks after I take my last bolt off and the pattern's complete. Now all these bolts can go back exactly where I took them out, and I'll continue this process for the rest of the build. Finally, we'll lift off the valve cover and expose all the fun stuff underneath. In our next video, we'll be removing the head.